As they were going along the road, someone said to him, "I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus said to him, "Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." To another he said, "Follow me." But he said, "Lord, first let me go and bury my father." But Jesus said to him, "Let the dead bury their own dead. But as for you, go and proclaim the kingdom of God." Another said, "I will follow you, Lord. But first, let me say farewell to those at my home." Jesus said to him, "No one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God." In our gospel this morning, Jesus can come across as, quite frankly, unfairly strict, demanding. It's not that much of a stretch to call him kind of crotchety this morning. Leave your dead father behind. Don't say goodbye to your family. By the way, I don't even got a place for you to sleep tonight. Jesus would not have made a very good travel agent. And, by the way, we see a similar severity in our passage from 1 Kings, where Elisha is chosen to follow Elijah as the next prophet. And we see Elisha destroy his animals and the instruments that would be needed to work the land for an agricultural living. It's kind of hard to go back to farming when everything you use to plow up the ground and get it ready to plant has been destroyed. Harsh, severe, demanding, quite frankly, single-mindedly focused. They can be used to describe what's expected of followers across our lessons today. And let's be honest, that might take us back at first. It might seem like a step, maybe 20, too far. But the point here is actually less about what is left behind and more about what the followers are going to, and how complete their faith and commitment was in what they were choosing to take on. It reminded me actually of this interview that I saw one time with Wynton Marsalis. He, if you don't know, is an amazing jazz musician. And musical careers happen to be fairly prevalent throughout his family as well. And he told this story of when he was young and as a teenager, just getting started on his musical journey in the world. Some of his family members, if I remember the story correctly, I'm pretty sure it was mostly women, like his mom and his aunt, the ones who are wiser and a lot more practical. And they advise women, have some kind of non-music related job or career to fall back on if being a musician didn't work out. They loved women. They wanted him to have food to eat. They wanted him to have a place to sleep at night. Again, there was a lot of musicians within his family who had struggled along, and they had seen all that hardship, and they had seen all the sacrifice, and seen people go hungry and sleeping on a floor somewhere. But then he tells how this older, I think it was a male family member, if I remember right, it was an uncle. And he told him, if this is your passion, if music truly is the thing you want to give your life to, that you want to do, then don't have anything at all to fall back on. He told him, look, you're going to have these hard times. You're going to have these struggles. You're going to be times when you don't have something to eat. There's going to be times where you're begging friends for a couch to sleep on. And when you have those times, when it is too hard to go on, if you have something to fall back on, you absolutely will fall back. And you'll leave your musical career behind. But instead, by having no other option but to put his full heart and soul, all his time and effort, every bit of talent and gumption that he had into his musical career, well, that was the only way that he could possibly see his full potential through. So, this time the practical ones went out. Wynton did exactly that. He didn't have anything else to fall back on. And he purposefully put everything into his music. His faith was a lot in himself, in his trumpet, and in his music. And he, as I said, he became one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time. And Jesus' call to his followers, for that matter, Elisha's actions as he begins to follow Elijah, they followed that same course. And that requires an amazing amount of faith. Ironically, it also, as noted in the passage from Galatians that we hear today, it actually gives the follower more freedom. See, instead of all of these other priorities and competing goods that are vying for the attention, for action, well, for those of the stories and for us as well, we become freed to simply love God and love our neighbor. Not in prescriptive ways, but in any of the imaginable ways that are there for us. Again, and my wife would tell you, I just happen to be wired this way. But there truly is freedom in discipline. And when that discipline is rooted in and it serves the love of God, that is the freest that we can be. So for us today, we need to consider what holds us back from fully following God, from putting our complete faith in Jesus Christ. What competes against God for our attention, for our time and efforts, even our thoughts, desires? And those are the things that we get invited to turn away from. But what we were invited to turn towards are the actions and efforts and thoughts of love that are rooted in the love of God. And those opportunities are boundless and perfectly aligned with the gift of free will that we are all given. So today I pray that we will embrace the freedom that results in solely seeking out and committing to the love of God as not just our better or even best option, but as our only option. Our sole guiding light in the world. I pray that those things that might seem to be a good fallback for us, that those will be left behind and put away. I pray that our lives then will be really kind of somewhat out of focus when viewed through the lens of the world, but crystal clear when seen by the eyes of God's love. Let us follow God, and let us do so